Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
The Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
Just Us Radio presents the Star Chronicles.
How about this, Cowboys?
Yeah! And goal. Elliott into the end zone.
Welcome, Cowboys Nation. This is the Star Chronicles Cowboys Football Podcast, episode 19. Hoping I'd be the bearer of great news, of us destroying the Bears and finally just putting our foot down and just showing that we are them boys. But unfortunately, lost that game 31-24, and the game was not as close as the score would indicate. I have my co-hosts here. I have Kyle. I have Lisa. I have Ron, a.k.a. the Starstruck Fan. Would you guys like to say hi to the people?
Hello, people.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Lisa sounds a little more optimistic this week. That is good. We'll put a star next to her name.
Keyword.
She's done good.
Keyword in that sentence was sounds.
And first off, I'd like to thank all the support for the show. Listeners all over the place, United States, of course, and the fine people of France with 44% listenership this week. And we also like to welcome the fine people of Jamaica and Mexico and Ireland and the United Kingdom, Canada, and the fine people of Puerto Rico as well. We really, really appreciate it. Continue sharing with friends. We could all be friends. We could do this every weekend. But anyways, what is your thoughts on the game Starstruck?
And this time you actually picked me first. And
Yes.
I really didn't watch much of that game because my son actually had a game that night. And I came in trying to catch it at the end of the third quarter going into the fourth quarter. And when I saw on my phone what the score was, I was very disappointed and decided just to chat with you all through our IG chat instead for the rest of the game instead of watch the conclusion. So I was disappointed to say the least.
They started it off strong, like the previous game against the Bills, put up some points right away. But from my overall opinion, besides just more missed tackles in the Bills game, to me, this is basically watching the same damn game back to back. What is your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you felt that he missed out on the Bears game, just rewatch that Thanksgiving game. Because the Bears and the Bills, it's for, 5-letter animals, starts with B. It's the same damn game. Literally.
Yeah.
It was the same game. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The opening drive touchdown, the other team comes back, they score. The game is still kind of close at halftime, wasn't that far off. And then the wheels just fell off. Dallas, once again, lead Zeke. I've been saying this for 5 weeks now. He didn't have a single touch in the fourth quarter, not a single carry.
Yeah, we had a bet on that too. We had a bet on that too.
We bet. I said 5 times, and it was 4. He touched the ball 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the most predictable thing I've ever seen in my life. It was the same exact thing as last week.
It was like the booth called down and be like, hey, whoa. He's ran the ball 13 times now. You better stop that.
And the game was going, 6 to 7 points at that point? I mean, they just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just rough. It really, really is. What is your opinions of the overall Cowboys performance, Lisa?
It's hard. Just like you said, it's hard right now. It's testing my fortitude in being a fan. I've been a fan for 46 years. It's not going to stop, but it's tested me for sure. And, it comes out, it just goes back to the end game, the lack of end game adjustments, because that's the only logical, rational, factual, you can prove it with numbers explanation for, because we came out both games. We drove right down the field, boom, scored. I literally said, not in the Bears game, because I had seen what happened in the Bills game. I was like, this is going to be a blowout. We're about to walk all over them. And then just like Kyle said, the wheels fell off completely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it took a half for the wheels to fall off. It's like once we crossed the goal line, a bolt flew off. And from then on,
we lost a lug nut. Yeah.
Off. Yeah. Wheels just started popping off at, just at random.
Yeah.
And it was just.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that scene from that movie, The Titanic, when the guy's like going, "Oh, there's icebergs approaching, sir," and the captain looks at him like, "I've just increased the boat to full power." Wow. Hold my beer, young chap, and watch this.
Hold my beer. Wow.
It's not just that the wheels came off; the wagon is on fire and it's rolling downhill, and it's into a lake of gasoline. Like, it's bad right now, bad.
I mean, and again, I can say this for all of us. We're all diehard Cowboy fans. We've all spent several years supporting this football team, whether it's merchandise, tickets, games, or whatever the case may be, special events. But
seen this team at its worst and at its best.
Yes. And again, it's absolutely nothing wrong with us complaining and sharing frustration about this team. Now, there's the blind Cowboy fan base, because they're still sitting there clicking their heels. But we're still winning the division, and then once we get to the playoffs, that's when we're gonna turn it on. But again, I'm 45 years old, and I don't believe in Santa Claus. I mean, it's just
you don't.
Would I like that to happen? Sure, of course, anybody would. But how many times has that happened for us?
You don't believe in Jerry Poppins' fairy tale? You don't believe in the fairy tale? Come on.
Awesome.
No, I don't believe in super cowboy fragilistic epsilodalidocious at all.
Well, Jerry says it's going to happen. Jerry believes. Come on. If Jerry believes, then it must be true.
Jerry believed for several weeks that his field goal kicker was okay.
Yeah.
Until now.
The kicker wasn't the problem. It was everybody. It was us. We just didn't understand the kicker. The kicker was okay. It was just us. It was just us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Misunderstood. Offensively, just sputtering all over the place. Can't get like a niche on what we're trying to do. We don't have an identity, no matter how many people want to say we do have an identity.
There's none. There's no rhyme or rhythm for what we do. It is. Just
though. It's the same. It's just there's a script, and it's not gonna. They're not gonna veer from that.
But it's not working. That's what I'm saying. It's not working. It is
right. No. The identity is unhinged. Whatever whatever the name for it is, it's unhinged, and it is unorganized, and it's outdated. It's irrelevant. It's archaic. It's all of those things. But there's a definite roadmap, or because sometimes I feel like that first drive, teams come in there going, surely they're not going to do exactly what we know that they're going to do, and they're caught off guard by it for the first drive, and we score, and then the coaches from the other team are like, they absolutely did exactly what we knew they were going to do. So
okay,
then
guys,
we'll make these adjustments. Yeah.
Okay, guys.
You've watched the film for the last 10 seasons. This is what they're going to do. They just proved it. So now they're going to be on play 15. We know that's a jet sweep, or whatever the script says. It's so predictable.
I just don't get the whole coaching aspect. It just seems like, to me, it's like we got like 1920s coaches on the sideline or something like, let's pitch them the ball there, see, and we'll see what happens. It's like, we'll give them a rub and duffing, and we'll move on down the field. See, it worked there before. I mean, it's just stupid. It's all stupid. I just don't get it. I mean, it's like, I love my team, but this is just a hard damn love.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's funny. Did you guys happen to watch the Monday night game when the Giants were beating the Eagles 17-3 at halftime? I don't know if you saw this, but they were beating the Eagles 17-3. I saw from the Eagles in the second half was run. And they're running with third string, fourth string running backs. And they're just running. They're dominating the line of the line of scrimmage. And then Carson Wentz without Alshon Jeffrey, who blew out his foot or something, without his right tackle, and with backup running backs, and essentially Zach Ertz playing wide receiver, the run opened up pass game, and they were passing. They found these seams that wide open, and I was like, "What the hell am I watching here?" Because for like 2 weeks, we've seen Dallas be down by 6 points and just completely abandon the run, go pass happy, and have it not work. And then, with my opinion, and superior talent than Alshon Jeffrey and Jay Ajayi. And you ever heard of a running back named Boston Scott? Because that's the first time I ever heard his name called. Guy ran for like 100 yards in a half. I mean, it was unbelievable.
That sounds like that sounds like a specialty sandwich somewhere. Give me one of the Boston.
Yeah, creative player, creative player on Madden.
Yep.
And I'm just saying, like, but what would we've seen what Dallas does. They completely Zeke. They eliminate Zeke. They take out Zeke, and it just becomes pass to the Gallup. And Cooper's hurt all the damn time. You know what I mean? And he's just. But coaching. I mean, it comes down to coaching. I know the Eagles have the same record as us, but Jesus, they come back from 14 points at halftime. Dallas hasn't done that in 2 seasons? Come back from that many points ever? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, my whole thing is I've been asking you guys this number for like the last couple of days, in our group. Again, if you want to give us a follow at the _Chronicles on Instagram, we greatly appreciate it. We like to hear your thoughts and insight on the Cowboys, anytime, because, it's always cool, especially like some of the listeners in France. It'd really be awesome to hear your feedback and what you think. I mean, it just really would be pretty cool.
And to the listeners in France, I'm going to learn some French before the end of the season. So you're going to hear some you're going to hear some French mixed with some Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, to give you probably give you an understanding what that would sound like, it'd probably be like if anybody's ever watched the TV show Alice, because I'm sure we have plenty of listeners around our age group. Just imagine Flo speaking in French, and that would probably be the equivalent. So that would be really good stuff. But the number I've been like floating around is that Dak's on pace to hit 5,000 yards this year, next 3 games. And passing, you got Gallup and Gallup and Amari Cooper probably going to both be damn near close to 1,200 yards reception between the both of them. You're on pace to have Zeke Elliott between 1,400 yards at the end of the season. That's a lot of damn yardage, but it does not translate to victories. And I understand the defense is a part of the problem, but I just don't still understand how we can't get this thing right with that type of output offensively.
It's insane.
Goes back to,
have we seen that before, Troy?
The only time between the 2 receivers, well, it's not even 2 receivers. I mean, it's just receiver and tight end over 1,000 yards with Dez and Witten, but it's never happened between 2 actual receivers for the Cowboys. I mean, I went back.
And
I thought it might have been close.
Yeah,
I thought it might have been close, like in the 90s with Harper and Harper Irving and Smith, but no, it's not even close.
So we've done it before with Witten and was it Dez?
Yeah.
And then quarterback threw for over 4,000. And how did we finish the season?
And see, and that's shocking too, because the record was 8-8.
Wow. Who's the coach?
Who was still
I was
coaching
about to just say that.
Good old happy clapper Jason Garrett. That's who the coach was. And I'm sorry.
It was his first full season, wasn't it? 2012?
No, 11.
I
11
think so.
was his first.
11.
Second, 11.
Because 11 he came in as an interim.
No, that was 2010.
Yes.
That was 2010.
Did he come in as an interim in 10?
Yeah.
2009 is when he came in as the interim.
No, 11, 12, and 13. 11, 12, and 13, he was 8-8 all those years. 2014 was the first year he actually had a winning record with Romo. 15, Romo got hurt. 16 was Dak. I'm almost positive that's how. I'm almost positive. Well, because 2010 was the 50th anniversary season, right? They had all the gear, 50 seasons. Yeah, they were a disaster that year. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
let's think about the
say
defense.
I gotta say something real quick because I just looked it up because I am that girl, and I was actually going to concede that Kyle was right. But listen to what it says. This is the funniest thing I have ever seen. So I'm on, where it just comes up and it just gives, his age and where he's born and all that stuff. Yeah. So it says teams coach, Dallas Cowboys, head coach since 2011. And then the next one, it says Dallas Cowboys. And in parentheses, it says caretaker manager, 2010 to 2011.
So was Wade Phillips gone in 2010?
Yeah. That's when he got fired in the middle of the season.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he was interim in 2010 and took over first full. Okay, 2011. Yeah. Got you. And 8-8.
Okay, sorry.
So 8-8.
The Giants won the division that year.
Yeah.
2012 was RG3 in the Redskins. 13 was the Eagles. We lost the last game of the season to the Eagles, and they won division.
Got it.
Yeah. We had Kyle Orton played that game. Yeah, the last game of the season.
Yeah, and that was a time where defensively we were full-fledged bend and don't break back then.
Yeah,
we definitely didn't have any of the talent that we have now.
Yeah,
and look at us now. Oh Jesus,
all grown up.
Yep, all grown up,
and still doing the same S we were doing 10 years ago.
So speaking, let's transition over to the defensive.
Speaking of
part
S,
of it.
Let's talk about the defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is literally the greatest S show on turf right now.
Brown emoji.
Yeah. Why?
Hashtag
Why? Why can't we tackle any damn buddy? I mean, why?
Tackling's overrated.
Why can't we turn around? Jalen Smith had his back turned 3 times in a row. And swiping. Doing his little swipe.
I'm so sick of swipe.
I'm so sick of swiping. I'm so sick of eating.
Say hot boys. Yeah. You gotta say hot boys.
I've been sick of the hot boys because I thought the name sucked from jump to begin with anyways. But these guys are just not performing. One, they're not performing at a championship level.
Definitely.
2, they're not even performing as an average team in the league right now.
And you know what's even sad and worse and almost makes you feel pitiful for these guys that I think I revealed earlier. I believe the team's cursed. But
yes.
I saw one game, I think it was either last week or the week before, where a pass was thrown on Byron Jones. He couldn't have had any better coverage on the play, and the guy still caught the ball. I saw it again last week. Jalen Smith all over the guy for the Bears in the end zone. Still catches the ball for a touchdown. I mean, even when these guys play hard and cover, guys are still making plays over them. And that's what's even heartbreaking is like, we can't do nothing right. Even when we do something right, somebody still makes a play.
Okay, but if they turned around and looked, don't you think there would be picks involved?
That is true.
Yeah.
I know some of us watch college football. I watched a lot of college football on Saturday, and the college defensive backs turn around and they're looking for the ball, and I was like, oh, wow. So that's what that looks like. I'm unfamiliar with this process of looking back towards the ball and, oh, look, you're getting interceptions. Oh, it's precious. That's cute how that works. Like,
yeah. But I mean, we can get turnovers and stuff now, but we can't do nothing with it anyway. So who cares?
Can we just try it out? Yeah, we did. I guess we got that one with Jordan Lewis. We caught it right on the 2,
the 6-inch line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is what I'm sick of. I'm sick of watching a piss poor Dallas Cowboy performance and all of a sudden I have to turn on the damn Madden to try and correct it in my brain after the game's over.
You do that too, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna show Chicago myself. Well, this time it's a twofer. I don't even need to play Chicago in the Bills. I can just call them the Buffalo Bears and just be done with it.
Yeah.
Or Chicago Bills, whichever one. I mean, it's just stupid.
Roll my sleeves up and get on this controller.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a what for. That's for sure. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we're going to be right back here with if is it Dak's fault? Only on the Star Chronicles. Pardon an interruption. This is Troy Hill with the Star Chronicles. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So if you're interested in making your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome back from the fine message from Anchor. It's the easiest way to do a podcast. I love Anchor a lot. It's very, very fun, and it makes it very easy for, to have a good time with me and my friends here covering Dallas Cowboy football. But our next topic is going to be, is it Dak's fault? Because, those birds are starting to flap their wings again, saying everything's Dak's fault, just like he's out there missing tackles and dropping balls and everything else and missing field goals. So what is your thoughts on that, Lisa?
Well, I mean, it's obvious Dak is struggling for sure, but this issue is not Dak's fault. It's a collective S show, and it's, he is struggling, but then I think, a lot of, people argue that a lot of his statistics are coming in garbage time and whatever, but you don't get gimme throw. I mean, some of them are cushion, the receivers have, the defensive backs are given a lot of cushion, but, I don't know. You can't blame it on Dak. You can give him part of the responsibility, but that's a 53-man roster with however many coaches and an owner that need the responsibility too. So y'all need to stay off of Dak.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, yes, Dak hasn't performed as great as in the beginning of the season, but in my mind, until he's out there actually playing defense or out there on special teams or out there kicking field goals or whatever the case may be, there's a way more wrong to this football team than Dak Prescott. What's your thoughts on that, Ron?
Well, there might be some merit to the cleanup garbage time stats. I can hear the fans that are out there saying that. I do agree to an extent that is what's going on. No, I do not put the complete blame on him, but I do believe he does need to step it up against better competition, because that is what's been the underlying issue and what a lot of people are pointing out, that yes, he's doing great this season, but a large portion of that is either coming in times where it's been garbage time or it's been against teams that have been below 500. He seemed to have not had any great games against teams above 500. And,
is it him? Is it him only that's not having good games against teams over 500? Because if your offensive line is breaking down against good defensive fronts, okay, yeah, you got to get rid of the ball quicker, and you got to adjust as a good quarterback. You have to make those adjustments for the shortcomings of your offensive line. But again, it's not only him. If you want to be paid. And it all goes back to he doesn't have a contract. If he had a contract, this is a non-issue because the damage would have been done. But people are saying if you want to get top 5 quarterback money, you got to start playing like top 5 quarterback. Okay, Russell Wilson struggled the last 3 weeks. So I agree with what you're saying to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even just talking about the offensive line, let's just go ahead and call it for what it is. This is no longer the Great Wall of Dallas.
Yep.
Our line is inconsistent. Yes, we do have some great players on our offensive line, but for whatever reason, it has not been put together. It's just not working. It's functional. I mean, that's the reason why I'm so adamant about our window, because the window's closing, and you guys don't see it. You don't think so, because, we do have a lot of talent in this team, and, having a different, fresh coach in there might make things change. But we're going to start rebuilding that offensive line soon. So a lot of those first-round picks, you're going to think we're going to try and get the next best stud receiver or running back or defensive back. you might as well throw that crap out the window because they will try and pick the best offensive lineman
Tyron
available
Smith is coming
at
to the
that
end.
pick.
I mean, Tyron Smith is on the way out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, people don't remember. People forget that we got him when he was 20, and he was a man. He was like a man then. You know, that's like the only man in the world that I don't believe needs to wear shoulder pads if he didn't want to. That guy is a man. You know, and I'm a man, and I don't be sitting there saying like a whole bunch of man stuff about men.
Yeah.
But trust me,
he wears a knee
he's
brace
damn
on his
man.
arm. That's how big of a
Yeah.
man he is. He wears a knee brace, a grown person knee brace on his elbow.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
I'm telling you, man.
that Troy, you brought up a point there when you said the window is closing. How many windows have we seen close in the last 20 years? And how many more are we going to see close before we, you know, I don't know, get this
the next
thing back?
plane? I don't know.
I mean, we keep seeing guys cycle through here, you know, and we're just wasting their career. I mean, these guys came in first-round pick. They were young, like you said, 20-something years old. They've never even sniffed a championship since being in the league.
I mean, you guys watch SpongeBob? Anybody here watch SpongeBob? Show of hands, anybody? Well, I watch SpongeBob because I've had 3 children. So I've been through every single ups and downs of SpongeBob. But Squidward visits his grave every once in a while. He's like the miserable guy that always seems to be upset and complains. And his grave that he visits, because he's not even dead, says, "Here lies the death of wasted talent." And that's the Dallas Cowboys. Because we've seen this. I mean, we had a phase like 4 or 5 years ago where there was a window.
Yeah.
And look at us now. What's your thoughts on that, Kyle?
You know, Romo, Murray, and Dez. Everyone knows that locker room picture, right? Everyone's seen that picture of them in the locker room. I mean, that was
that's like the equivalent of the photo held in Back to the Future. Stuff now.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I mean, that team was talented, and that they're all gone. I mean, Witten's around still, but this is probably it for him. You know what I mean? And now, you know, Zeke and, you know, Dak and, you know, this line, that picture's starting to fade out too, in my opinion, you know? Well, not really, but I mean, it could be. I mean, if this team stays the course, that will be, you know, that picture. We're going to look back and be like, oh my God, we had these guys for 10 seasons and did nothing with them. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's time for a change. I mean, how many more guys that come through these doors, first round picks, and win one playoff game every 4 years, you know? It's just
do you believe it's Dak's fault?
Oh no, not at all. No way. No, it's like you know, not every quarterback. Like Lisa said, Russell Wilson you could say he had his worst game of the season last week. I mean, they got smacked by the Rams. They didn't score a single touchdown. I mean, are we gonna crucify Russell Wilson for one bad game? I mean, it's just the nature of the business being Dak, and America's team. But the guy's, he's already set a franchise record for the only second quarterback that ever threw for 4,000 yards in the season. He's already surpassed his total touchdown passes. You know what I mean? He's leading the league in yards. I mean, I don't know what else he can do. I mean, he's got to hit on some more passes, I think, but these receivers got to start catching these balls. We said it before; they got to start catching these balls. Like you saw, what was Michael Gallup doing that one drop pass where he jumped in the air? Even Aikman, why is he jumping? It makes no sense. I was like, I didn't know what the hell did he jump for? It was right in his chest. I don't get it. It was the.
Yeah, I mean, it's like speaking of Troy Aikman. I know there's a lot of people in the Cowboy world, Cowboys Nation, so to speak, that hates Troy Aikman. But let me explain something to you from my perspective. Troy Aikman, he's a national broadcaster. 1, he's a diehard Cowboy fan through and through. 3, he does a weekly program every Tuesday on the Ticket, 1310. Check it out. And he says when the Cowboys are doing good things, he's giving praise. When the Cowboys do bad things, he is not. So, again, it just comes down to what you want for the commentator.
Man, I thought you
want guys going to keep it on a lane.
I thought you were going to get to the Super Bowls, man. I was waiting on it.
Well, most importantly, he has 3 Super Bowl victories, and He is one of the most accurate
Thank you.
quarterbacks of our damn time.
Thank you.
So again, when people say, "Oh well, F what Troy Aikman saying," you obviously don't know any damn thing about football. You just need to sit yourself down and shut up because it's just getting old.
He had great players around him. They all came in together basically. It wasn't like he walked in and, hey, these are Hall of Famers that are going to be on your team now that you're here as a rookie. They all walked in young together and grew together.
Exactly.
From a 1-15 season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's such a thing as football Jesus, Troy Aikman might very well be him. In my opinion, to me, he's the greatest. To me, he's my favorite Cowboy quarterback of all time. I know I understand the Starbuck and all that, but yeah. Troy Aikman is the bee's knees to me. And I just think the argument about him saying that he's not a Cowboy fan, I just think that's stupid. If you want to hear if you want to hear Cowboy players praise the Cowboys during Cowboys broadcasts, move your ass down here so you can listen to the local broadcast when Michael Irvin's on or Emmitt Smith is on, because that's the only damn time you're going to hear.
But they're not national.
You're supposed to be the national
but
broadcaster.
They're not national broadcasters. They're not color commentators. There's a big difference.
That's what my point. But that's what my point is, though. That's what my point is. If you want to hear praise during your broadcast, move here so you can listen to them when they're on there doing local broadcasts. Because that's the only where you're going to get it. That's the only place you're going to get it. Because guess what? If you start listening to Tony Romo, he's doing the same damn thing. In his own shucks way, but he's doing the same thing. So when are you going to turn your backs on him and say he sucks, doesn't know what he's talking about also? It's coming.
Here's the thing about me and in regards to Troy. Troy and I was probably the biggest Troy Aikman fan when he was playing. I have been super critical of him as a broadcaster, not because my feelings were hurt because he wasn't a homer, but because I feel like he states the obvious and it sends me to the upper room. It is like Jalen really needs to make that tackle he just missed. Really? You think so? Like, come on. Like, and I think part of the times now that I've been paying more attention, I think sometimes that's what he does to level out the playing field because his natural instinct is to be a homer. He is, just like you said, Troy, he is a fan and he wants to be that guy that's like super rah-rah for this team, but he knows because of his job, he just can't be. And so sometimes I think he's overly obvious in a non-positive way.
I got something to that.
From sounding like a homer.
I got something to that also.
That makes complete sense. What you're saying. Go ahead, Ron.
I was just going to say right quick before we rotate it back around. Is there honestly anybody that can say that based on the way that Troy calls the game, that we as fans don't look at the game the way that Troy looks at the game? Do we not say the same thing that Jalen's got to make that tackle when we're in our living room or wherever we're watching it? Troy, to me, watches the game the way the fans watch the game, and he makes comments the way we would make comments. When I think about it, when he makes those critical comments, we say the same thing when we're watching the game. I can't believe he made that.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with the critical nature of it. I have a problem with the obvious nature of it. Maybe I didn't use a good example, or he'll say something that missed tackle really hurt the team. Well, no, but I think but Lisa, I think you're on to something because I mean we all live here, so we already know it. I mean Troy Aikman lives here, and we know. And Troy Aikman, I mean, it's obvious how important the city of Dallas and the Cowboys is to Troy Aikman. But maybe it is what you're saying that he has to put so much energy into himself, not to sound like that homer. That he kind of just like makes himself kind of dry. Well, but where this all kind of it all came together, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's totally what it is, in my opinion, is all of his comments after the 2 Thursday games, and he is very I had never heard him be just, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention because normally if he and Joe are calling a game, I'm gonna full disclosure, most of the times I will mute the sound on the TV because they drive me that crazy. But but he's been outwardly critical, post game, pre game, the Thursday night game of Jerry, and his basically he said his unwillingness to make changes and his ego, and a lot of things have come out since, and I'm like, okay, Troy's really on it. I mean, like, not that I didn't know it already, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough. But he's really this last week he's really shown a lot.
This all started last year. Remember, after the Titans lost, they had a bye week going into Tennessee. They got blown out by Tennessee, and it was the first time I really heard him like really be overly critical about Linehan, about Garrett, about Jerry. Remember, he's like, this all starts from the top down. You know what I mean? And I remember the next day in the radio stations, he was talking about they need a whole organizational restructure. It's not working. Yeah, that was after the Tennessee game last year. I remember that vividly.
Okay.
But you know what? But check this out. After that Tennessee game, Troy Aikman was very, very critical of the team. What other Dallas Cowboy legend wasn't critical of the team after next week's win? What other Cowboy player? Michael Irvin. We're going to finally prove to the whole world to reclaim blah, 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 which is great, which is inspiring. Yeah. But people love that, but they don't want to hear the truth about
That's
stuff.
The problem. I mean, Troy's right. I mean, this is the same year, different year, same story. I mean, it literally is. This team is falling apart before our eyes, just like it was last year. I mean, and there were 3 games left. What hope is there, in my opinion? 8-8 at best, in my opinion.
I mean, God, we only can hope. I mean, I wonder if you think Troy Aikman and Jason Garrett have conversations ever?
I don't know. That's a good question because they were teammates for years. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Was there a comment that was made recently? Seemed like I remember him making a comment recently about
that would
Garrett.
indicate no, right?
Well, no, it seemed like he may have because he was saying something about that him not having control of the team. Garrett, was that not him, or was that? Am I mixing that up with the thing you sent me earlier today, Lisa, where it was saying that, we really don't know what Jason Garrett is because Jerry has so much control that we really don't know. That was on the thing
this morning, but I don't know if that was. I mean, I don't know if Troy had said it like too,
I thought Troy had kind of touched on. Troy Aikman had kind of touched on that a little bit as well. That we really don't know what Garrett is capable, and I even mentioned that to someone in one of the chats, in the comments earlier this week, that I would not be surprised. It may have even been you, Troy, where I said I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Garrett doesn't go somewhere else and he's a little bit more successful than he's been here.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that happening because we don't know the level of influence that Jerry Jones has on Jason.
Because he didn't bring in his own coaches here. They were given to him.
No, how often does that happen? Oh, yeah, we'll coach a team, and here's Jimmy Smits and Billy Joe Hansen over here. They're going to be a coaching staff.
Yeah, but bottom line, like I get what all you are saying, and I agree 100%. But Jason Garrett, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe that explains everything. Maybe Jerry has said, we're paying you what we're paying you. We've made you very wealthy over the last 9+ years, and you'll get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Like you'll just be, but I would maybe from a personnel standpoint, Jason has no control, but I would think on the game plan itself and the scheme and the fronts and the looks, I feel like that's all on him.
But he didn't hire any of these guys that he's having to do what he's telling them to do.
No, that's very, very true. But
but if it's his playbook,
I think.
Well, hold that thought right there because we're delving into a whole new realm of Garrett. So let's go ahead and take another quick break. Hear another fine message from the lovely people of Anchor. And we're going to talk about lame duck Garrett here next on the Star Chronicles. Hello, I'm Troy Hill with the Star Chronicles Cowboys Talk podcast, sponsored by Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place, free, which you can use right from your phone or computer with creation tools that allow you to record and edit to get your show sounding glorious. They'll even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard
everywhere like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So what you need to do is download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Did I mention it was free?
Welcome back to the Star Chronicles, people. Please don't get mad at us, our comments and stuff, and our commentary about the Dallas Cowboys, because again, we love this organization. We just want it to be fixed.
You can get mad at me if you want to. You can at me too.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can get mad at me too, because as Lisa so eloquently will say, that you will get a whole fight from me. Not a partial fight, but a whole fight.
You're walking
A
over, but
whole
you're
fight.
leaving back. Bo show.
Gosh, she's more friendly about it than me. I'm talking EMTs and everything, carting you back. The life copter coming down, everything. But anyways, I can't believe he did it to that guy. It's not even scientifically explainable. How did he get the guy's leg shoved up? Anyways, lame duck Garrett. I mean, granted, like I really do hate saying negative things about the guy, because he does seem like he is a nice guy. You know, I mean, and that's kind of probably my hiccup in the world. But still, Lisa, would you like to share the information that you gathered on Garrett?
Well, this was a quote, or it's a video from Mark Schlereth, who, if you're not familiar, he played for the Broncos for a long time. You know, really good. He's a commentator on ESPN, I believe now. Maybe he's on Fox, but he's on one of them. And basically in this rant, he started off and he just said the Cowboys were never anything with the way that their current structure is. And what it went back to was that Jerry wants to be the guy. And it's what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You know, the reason he has hesitated to give up on Jason was because he wants to be the guy that hired the guy that got the Cowboys back to, the promised land. But what Mark Schlereth said is it's never going to happen because, it basically refers to Jerry's ego, and that's ultimately why it hasn't been good since Jimmy left, because Jimmy was a football guy and Jimmy got all the credit. We've talked about this on this podcast. But Mark Schlereth said it, and it just the way he said it, and I'm not doing it justice. All you have to do, if you're, go to your Google and just put Mark Schlereth on the Cowboys, and it'll come up. He just said it like a week or two ago, and it's just talking about the owner is too involved. I mean, he listed other owners like Arthur Blank, and he was like, who the owners of the Steelers are, but you don't ever hear about them, getting in the mix like that. And Arthur Blank is a little bit eccentric, but you never hear about him, getting in the mix. And Bob Kraft is a perfect example. Like, he just owns the team, and okay, Bill does whatever Bill wants to do, and ultimately they have 6 Super Bowls to prove it.
Yeah, Kraft. Yeah, he's just sitting off on the sideline, minding his own business, getting back.
And they talked about the kicker too, didn't they? I think he mentioned something about the kicker. Like, I guess Jason Garrett was saying something about the kicking game being a little off or something in that, and then Jerry was like, "There's nothing wrong with the kicking game." Like, he blatantly, I guess, said the opposite of what Jason was interviewed about the kicking game needing improvement. And I guess Jerry said, it's like, who does that? And
this is not the first time. Because last year, after the season was over, I remember the press conference with Jason Garrett saying that Scott
there won't
Linehan
be any
was
changes. There won't be any changes.
Yeah,
I even posted on my page, stay tuned. Too soon.
Not even 24 hours later.
I said hashtag too soon on my post that day. I said it's too soon for Jason Garrett to get on and say something like that. Watch, stay tuned.
Well, and also in that interview, Marcellus Wiley was one of the ones on the panel, and he used to play here. And, Mark Schlereth kind of deferred to him, and Marcellus was here in 2004. So obviously that was pre-Jason. So, Marcellus's point was like, this has been going on even way before Jason. And there's only one constant that goes all the way through this time period of, since Jimmy left, there's only one constant.
He ain't been here for 24 years.
Yeah. And so, it's that culture that comes from the top down of, I want to be the guy. I'm the one who spent all this money to buy this team. I want all of the glory. And so it's just, like Marcellus said, and somebody else, the guy that used to play is his name Damian Woody?
Oh, Damian Woody? Yeah.
Did he used to play for the Jets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he play for the Patriots too, didn't he?
I know Jets for sure, yeah.
But he was even like, I think it was him or either Marcellus one was like, coaches that have full control like that, the fear, they talked about the players, here are like, if Jason Garrett gets onto him, they're like, yeah, won't, whatever, because ultimately I know you don't have any power.
Yeah.
And it puts, and I don't feel sorry for Jason at all. I do not get me wrong. But
you're not my dad.
Yeah, you're not my dad. You can't.
Yeah, what was that
me.
quote you had this week? Like, well, the best players are going to play this week. Should that be the way it is every week? I mean, does that make any sense to you? Like,
well, then Jerry's
the best practice players are going to play. Like, what the hell kind of?
Well, and Jerry said that all coaches
1 through 16.
Yeah, and Jerry was talking about all the healthy. He was talking about healthy coaches.
What? Yeah, but Jerry, people need to realize. People need to realize that 10% of what Jerry says actually makes sense in the grand scopes of things. The other 90% is 100% unadulterated bull jive. And I'm so getting close to just dropping that S-bomb, but I'm just not yet.
Well, he did.
Very, very close.
Yeah, he got pulled.
Yeah. But, well, let's do that. Let's take one quick break and let's go ahead and talk about Jerry in the interview that happened this week, only on the Star Chronicles. Welcome back to the Star Chronicles. We're back here talking some Dallas Cowboy football. Jerry Jones, Lame Duck Garrett. Is it Dak Prescott's fault? But now we're into talking about the big man himself, Jerry Jones. He had an interview this week. Got quite a bit of buzz in social media. It was really crazy, actually. What's your thoughts and opinions on that, Kyle?
Yeah, it was kind of funny to hear it, honestly. It was uncomfortable, but funny at the same time because, I think a lot of people kiss his ass a lot, on the radio. They just want to have let's get Jerry on. We'll talk and make him laugh and have some laughs. You know what I mean? But so it's kind of funny to hear someone kind of give it to him about basically the fans' displeasure with the team. How we're not going to take this crap anymore from him. You know what I mean? This product in the field. It just and then Jerry, being the way he is, doesn't want to answer any questions. So he just when people get like that, they don't have any answers. They go on the offensive. You know what I mean? It was what he did. Like Lisa was saying, I don't have time to jack around with you, blah blah blah, and change your tone, because he didn't have any answers. That's the problem. He just. But it was like I said, I give the guys in the radio show credit for finally saying what every fan wants to say. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's funny he said jack around or whatever. I ain't got time to be jacking around with you guys. I've been traveling all day. Just make sure you come watch us play the Rams and watch our big jumbotrons at the big stadium down there at the Death Star. Go Cowboys! What's your thoughts on it, Lisa?
I'm with Kyle. I mean, I heard it live and I was blowing y'all up in the message. I was like, "Holy hell! Did y'all just hear that interview?" And he cursed and he got. But the funny part was when he cursed, he wasn't even. It was towards the tail end of the interview, but he did say something pretty telling, I thought, at the end. He said, I don't know what he was saying, something about, one of the hosts that was interviewing him at the very end said, just go fix it, Jerry. Go fix it. And Jerry laughed, and it was awkward laugh. It was awkward, almost maniacal. It was a maniacal kind of laugh, and the hosts were uncomfortably laughing, and everybody was like, and he was like, I get it, and the tone in his voice, and I think he understands, but at the same time, I do, my gut tells me he's got a bigger plan, and based on the quote that Kyle sent earlier, about the have it running several through here in the interim and all that kind of stuff, I do feel like he's got a bigger plan. Obviously, he can't talk about it right now, but it just sounds, but what I think that interview did, ironically, is people know that he's a little bit, people outside of this fan base know that he's crazy. But I think that interview gave insight to the world of what we deal with as fans every single week. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Because his interviews, okay, he does some of the ones that they capture, right after the games or whatever. But that is like a microcosm of being a fan of this team.
Yeah, true. I mean, what is your thoughts, Ron? You think he's just getting a little too long in the tooth?
So I'm just looking at this quote and just absolutely makes no sense. It says Jones soon joined the radio host again. This was after he was dropped to finish up his interview and address the question about if the team quit on Coach Jason Garrett during the Thursday's game. He comes back with a comment. You got to remember, and just if this doesn't make any sense to you, it's because it doesn't probably. You got to remember that when you quit on your coach, then you quit on yourself, because we're all a part of this. Well, we all quitters. The one that deserves the most responsibility is the one that ultimately makes the decision to put what players out there and put what coach out there. That's the general manager. In this case, it happens to be the same man that owns the team, Jones said. I completely understand the fans' frustration with me. What does that have to do with the players quitting? The guy asked him, did the players quit on the coach? He never addressed that or gave a perspective. I think Jerry's halfway to, I don't know, being the senile train is pulling into the station. And he's just, I don't know.
Well, once again, though, his ego.
Yeah.
He had
77
he
years
had
old.
to throw it there that he's the general manager. I'm
Yeah.
the GM. Like,
Yeah.
we know that. Everyone for the past 30 years knows you're the GM, but he's got to throw that out there just so in case we forgot, we know Jerry's the GM. You know what I mean?
And that's the worst part about leadership is that anytime you have to continue to reference your title, that's the poor sign of leadership.
Exactly. I mean, I just don't get it, but I guess enough with Jerry. What are the thoughts and opinions of this upcoming football game? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I have not seen, especially after the Rams performance against the Seattle Seahawks this last game. Again, diehard Cowboy fan. I'm just not blind like some of you guys are. They have not given me any type of indication whatsoever that we can win this football game come Sunday. Thoughts? Anybody? Just go ahead and dive in.
What's the Rams record? Is it above 500?
Mm-hmm.
8-5.
They are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, enough said. There it is. 8-5.
I mean, I wish it was the Rams from 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, but it doesn't appear to be that
They've
way.
gotten better. Yeah, they have kind of righted the ship a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if all their receivers are back. I mean, I know Seattle struggled, but the Rams looked better. And again, it goes back to, Ron's theory of winning makes everything better. And, they immediately went from Sean McVay was on the hot seat and Jared Goff was being criticized. And what about they overpaid Todd Gurley and now they won one game and everything's fine. And I don't believe that. I haven't. Again, it's like we were going into the Bears game. Until you show me otherwise, no.
God, it just sucks. It has to get to that point. Doesn't it? It's just that
I don't know if I'm quite buying. Of course, I'm gonna probably get proven wrong, and anybody listening to this show gonna say, "See there, I told you." But I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not quite buying into the Rams, and I'm trying to think back to when was the last time we were not favored in a game this season. Anybody can remember? I'm honestly drawing a blank of when we were not favored.
But
other
do you
than
know why that is?
The Patriots game probably is the only one I can think of.
No, we were favored. Yeah. I think we were favored in that one too, weren't we?
Probably so. I don't
But
remember.
once you factor in
How?
once you factor in the 3 points for a
Reality?
home game, it came out to basically a pick 'em.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not. Here's the thing you got to know, Cowboy fans, about Cowboy team Dallas Cowboys spreads. It's not real. It's based on the volume of people betting the Cowboys one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, this show isn't near long enough for me to get into the technicalities of Las Vegas spreads when it comes to the Cowboys versus other teams. That's a different discussion. And I'm not going to, there's no reason for me to explain why I know this much about gambling. But when it comes to the Cowboys.
Not this show. Yeah. Maybe another show. I want to know about the gambling addiction.
So, yeah, we have been favored, but it's because of the trends of betting either for or against the Cowboys. Vegas is setting the spreads to be beneficial to them.
But realistically, though, looking back at it, if you looked at our schedule, what game did you think that we probably should not have won? I mean, when you look back at our schedule, just
like coming into the season.
I mean, once the season got rolling, when we were 3-0, I mean, what games did you really didn't think that we probably didn't show? I mean, when we played Green Bay, a lot of people thought we caught Green Bay at a very good time in the season.
Yes, because
we were at home.
Because we did for a championship football team that runs an organization the right way.
We had the Saints with Bridgewater. We had the Jets. We had the Eagles. We had the Giants. We had the Vikings where Kirk Cousins. The Vikings at that time had not beaten a team either with a winning record until they faced us that week. Then we had the Lions. I'm saying all that to say this. This is the first game that I think that people are going to really say they don't have a chance this season. And that's the only reason why I'm crazy enough to believe it is possible that we can win this game for some strange reason. Is because it's the one game that this season I can absolutely say that we really shouldn't win this game. We really shouldn't win this game. And to go back to say that the Rams have been looking good, I think could be fool's gold, only be the simple fact they played two familiar teams the last 2 weeks in their division. They played the Cardinals and they played the Seahawks the last 2 weeks. Keep in mind, 3 weeks ago, the week before the Cardinals game, they got sandblasted by the Ravens, 45-6. So I'm not quite sold that the Rams may have things. It just may be that they were playing familiar teams and were able to look a lot better than what they are over the course of last year. Or I could just be crazy. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about that Rams Cowboys playoff game last year where we just got basically blanked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not sold on the Rams like Super Bowl contenders, but at least they've won a few games in a row and they look pretty good. But I mean, they're still at 8-5. But
because we haven't done that in so long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When's the last time
we have won?
we get Dallas look pretty good. Weeks 1
We're
through 3.
still favored in this game.
Exactly.
We're really favored.
2.5.
That's off of that gambling thing.
Well, the 2.5
is definitely not a performance.
Well, 2.5 is basically means the Rams are favored by 0.5 point because
we're at home.
Teams automatically get a 3-point edge.
Gotcha.
So
Jesus.
Yeah, the opening line was 3 points. Like there's no like if this was a regular team playing the Rams right now, let's say it was the Eagles playing the Rams right now, the spread would probably be, I'm going to guess, in favor of the Rams by 5.5, maybe 6. Mm-hmm. But because it's the Cowboys, it's different. All normal spread rationale is out the door because of the trends of a lot of people betting the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. So I'm actually predicting live on the air that I don't think the Cowboys are going to win this week. I want them to win, of course. I just don't think they're going to win. Crazy Ron with his sack of rocks getting ready after the show's over. He's going to go out and break neighborhood windows. He thinks the Cowboys are going to win.
I'm just being crazy this week for some strange reason. I'm just going to be crazy, and it's going to hurt if I'm wrong. It's going to really hurt.
Sounds like you're on the senile train with Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to start calling you Ernest T. Ron from now on.
And we're at home this weekend, not in LA like we were for the playoffs.
Were we at home against the Bills?
There's no such thing as a home field advantage.
But we were favored
Let's make that
against the
completely
Bills.
clear.
We were expected to beat the Bills.
We're
not
favored
expected
right
to
now
beat the
against the Rams.
Well, I mean, realistically, we're not expected to beat the Rams. Last week, we were realistically expected to beat the Bills on Thanksgiving Day at home. That's why we lost.
Well, quickly, do you guys believe that we actually have a home field advantage? I don't think we've ever had a home field advantage.
It's better now. Like the games that I've been to in the last couple of years, it is better.
It's better, but half those people are not even watching the damn game.
No, it's not about the number of folks. It's about the way that stadium was built.
Yeah.
By Senile Sam and his merry gang of architects.
Well, that's a whole damn 2-hour-long podcast.
You could have 500,000 people in there, and because of the way it's built, the sound
goes upward.
Yeah,
it gets trapped in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Well, also even with the direction of the sun, how the sun beams there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one unique difference about how that stadium's built than most stadiums in the country.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other conversation about that too.
Yeah.
So about it's a lovely looking stadium, but it's poorly constructed, and it wasn't well planned for just how the sun's going to drop in.
It's not
how the
planned
sound's going
for
to be
football events. It is an event facility, not a football facility.
True. What's your thoughts, Kyle? Well, I mean, you have been in the in the new stadium, right? You've been in a game in the new stadium.
Yeah. So it's funny. I've been to mostly, before because I went back in 2012 when it was only a couple years old, and I don't know, man. I mean, I guess I just feel like I feel like I was like a country club. I mean, there's the there was like the Sony PlayStation Lounge, there was the Tequila Lounge over here, there was this and it was these seats that are like average seats were a freaking fortune. You know what I mean? So it's like your average fan gets priced out. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm used to going to like a Penn State game where there's 109,000 people crammed in the bleachers and everyone's yelling and screaming and on their feet the entire time. Where it's like, in here everyone's eating, drinking their $11.
It's like watching a movie,
watching the jumbotron. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I
just felt like it was a country club. I was like, I always thought that was just
quiet.
Like
the movie's playing.
Atmosphere I've ever been to for a football game.
It's like a studio movie grill for sports.
Yeah, but Jerry, Jerry's thought people are saying the fans are being priced out, which I completely get. But Jerry's argument is going to be, well, we got the standing room only. For the people that really aren't watching the game, I'm just let everybody know I'm on Instagram. Look at me.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's stupid BS. But
I mean, the stadium is nice.
I'm sorry. If I don't have a seat, I have zero interest in visiting your venue.
Yeah.
I'm not standing around, walking around Cowboys Stadium, when there's a game on and trying to fight through so I can actually see the game. I can sit and make me a nice spread at my house.
Yeah.
Buy me a case of beer. And,
for the same price as one beer at the stadium.
Yeah, I can have me a nice damn evening.
And what's funny? The sun thing is right too. I always thought it was weird the stadium was built east and west, and when it should have been built north and south. That made no sense either.
Exactly.
How many times? I mean, it just you watch those certain broadcasts. It hasn't happened in a couple of years. Where that light is just glaring in there, and I'm like, who the hell came up with that design to have it east and west in the middle of fall and winter when the sun sets that early? You know what I mean? Not like summertime when it sets at 8 p.m.
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you. Look at those pictures. Look at those pictures and stuff at Gettysburg or whatever, or Getty or whatever. Look at those pictures and stuff at that time when that sun's shooting through there, and I guarantee you'll never see a better picture of a football team out in the field with that sun, because it catches all the light just in the right way.
The pictures look great.
Yes.
I will gladly put one on my wall, but if I'm, trying to win a damn football game, I don't want that in my face. So.
True. It's like, well, hell, we're going to be disadvantage everybody. I want sunlight for everybody.
But like I said, it was just like I said, the atmosphere. It was a cool stadium, but the atmosphere just felt a little too bougie, a little too country club for me.
Yes, I definitely love the feel in Texas Stadium way, way better. But that's just me. But we got everybody, I guess everybody except Crazy Ron picking the Cowboys to win this game.
Crazy Ron.
And I hope he's right. I certainly hope that I'm wrong. But we're out of time this week, guys. It was really great having the show, even under unfortunate circumstances of another Cowboy loss. But keep supporting the show. Visit us on the _Chronicles. Give us a visit out there and a follow over on Instagram. We'd certainly appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. And football season is starting to end pretty soon here, one way or another. And I'm sure some listeners are wondering, well, what's going to happen to Star Chronicles? You just ain't going to do no shows and stuff for football season? We got you covered.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we got you covered because we got some big stuff coming, some real big stuff. But anyways, on behalf of myself, Lisa, Kyle, and Ron, I am out. Would you guys like to say goodbye to the people?
Goodbye, people.
Go Cowboys.
Yes.
Lisa.
Go Cowboys. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Yes, he needs a win and stuff because this is making us lose our poor little voice and stuff with all this spam.
7-7. Here we come.
It's all Woo!
But on a
7-7.
On a brighter note, my college team is now ranked number 1. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'll hold my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Just with that being said, we're out. Have a great week, and we'll have a great weekend, and we'll see you again. And we'll be back.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.